You're right. Good morning. It's a bit early stream today. It was a good morning. And I was thinking yesterday, like, we have this really great like base structure of doing this rebase. And then it occurred to me, like, what if when you go here and it says waiting to rebase, you have two buttons. You have one button to manually go in and rebase, and then you can have an AI suggestion. So you click another button and you'll get a suggestion on how to rebase these commits. And I think this is doable, because what we have to do first is we have to add OpenAI. I've already added the API key configuration. Oh, did I actually? Oh, can I see history here? Why did I remove it? Whatever, we'll figure out how to use it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna define like a simpler version of you know what, we're gonna use ChatGPT for this. Update available. Let's see. So first we're gonna define the actual types for this, and it's not gonna be as full as the current types. So the current types takes like path, index, hash, dependencies, and then it takes file type. It might be a rename, add, delete. I thought it would have. Oh, here we go. Hunk. This is the thing we don't. This is the thing we're gonna change. So we're not gonna give it the full hunk. Or maybe, okay, let's just do it from scratch. So let's see. We're gonna create a schema for OpenAI to understand these changes, and I wanted to understand it similarly to the way we do it, like as a flat array. So we're going to have like commits, and commits just have a hash and a message. That's all they have. And then we're gonna have changes, and this is gonna have path, index, hash, and dependencies. But there's also gonna be a type. Yeah, we're gonna have type, which is gonna be strictly, like, we don't care here about like binary and text and stuff like that. We just care about if it's a modification. I'm just thinking about how, because we need to include the actual lines that we're changing so that it gets some context on what we're trying to do. But the question is, do we just always include lines? I wonder, like if it's a binary file, for example. We could make, we'll try making lines optional. Yeah, okay. So let's see. We also need yarn and z. Oh, wait, is it z? No, it's not z. Z is something else. We want sub. Yarn add sub. Okay, so what we want to do, where did I add this stuff? Rebaser. So let's go ahead and try to build this schema. So this will be the output or the response schema. Let's just call it schema response schema. And this will actually be the schema of the thing we're passing in as well. And I wonder if it's possible for us to reference that schema. But maybe we don't have to, because we're not gonna change anything. That's the point. But we need to ensure the response. Let's see. We have import. Oops. How does this work? Could you create a SOD schema for me based on this? On this type. So let's type response equals commits array of hash string message string changes array of path string index number hash string dependencies array of number type. This needs to be add, delete, modify, because we don't yeah, we can say rename, like we don't actually care about the old file name here. Type add, delete, modify, rename, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna say lines string array. Look at that. Because this can take a, can this take a, no. How do I give it a description? Yeah, it's just describe, right? Yeah. Okay. Describe the commit hash. This can be generated. This can just be random strings for new commits. The commit message. I'm very curious what it's going to do here. Why are you complaining? Oh, describe. Supposed to be describe. Yeah, describe, sorry. And then path. Let's just be very explicit here. You should be file path. The file path. Index. This should be this is really an ID. We could call it ID. I wonder if it gets a little bit confused by calling it index. I'm a little bit confused by calling it index. it is an index. It's like the original index of the change. But let's try. Describe the original index of the change. Describe the commit a reference to a hash in the commits. Describe the index of other change this change can only appear if dependency. This change can only appear after this change can only appear after the dependencies in the changes list. Yeah, I don't think we need to do that. Describe the diff lines of change, if any. Okay, so that's our response schema, and then hopefully it's enough to just give it the same schema as input and ask it to change it. I'm very curious what it's gonna do here. This is gonna be fun. So let's create our new button. Does it have a magic button? Oh, look at that. Immediately I go in and I mess up the, come on, Christian. Sorry. And I thought I would have prepared this. Revoke key, create new key. Nice PR. Create secret key. Copy. Done. Let me just add it. Nice. I can't believe this. It's so typical me. Okay, I think we're good now. Let's see. What was I gonna do? Why was I even going in there? Oh yeah, because we're gonna look at VS Code extension icons. This is what I was gonna. Does it have a magic thing? Magic wand? No. Sparkles? Yes, it has sparkle. Of course it has sparkle. So let's go in and add this new button. So that would be command suggest rebase. I'm so curious. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. And this should be available up here. Suggest. There we go. So let's implement that. So we're just gonna implement it right here. So let's move to, well, not. This is interesting. So when we go into rebasing, I wonder if we should actually... No, we shouldn't pass anything. You know what? We're just gonna do this in the extension itself for now, because we just want to play and see what we're gonna do with it. Let's see. No, let's just call it suggest. Suggesting. Set rebase mode. Rebase mode. Mode is suggesting. Yeah, and then we move into rebase. Yeah, this makes sense. And let's go and just fix some issues with that. Why did you... What happened? Wait. What did I do? So when I added that, I got a bunch of errors. Why? Oh, yeah, it's get rebaser. Or this mode is suggesting. There we go. And then we get an error here. Yeah, there's a better way to write this. We can do like idle pushing includes mode. That's a little bit nicer. Let's do that here as well. Oh, that doesn't work. Ah, okay. I thought it would work. Okay, nice, we're back to it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna allow you to actually set set rebase mode. If the case is suggesting, we are gonna do something similar like this. Let's see. We're gonna grab this stuff. We're gonna create a rebaser. And then we're gonna go and grab the rebase commits, rebaser get rebase commits. And then we're gonna turn these rebase commits into this new schema. And isn't there like a, where did I put the schema? I put it in here. Question is, yeah, this should really happen outside. Let's just put it here for now. And then we'll see what we do with it. So we have that response schema, and then what we can do now is, where are we suggesting? Suggested commits. So that this should be C infer. It should not be commits, it should just be this. And then we have commits. And then we have changes. So commits needs to be rebase commits map commit to this. And then we have, well, do we really need this? Rebaser get. Maybe we should just allow you to, well, the diffs. Yeah, let's just add a method to. So we had get, what I really want is just ability to get the changes. That's all. Get changes, return this dot changes. Get changes, and then we map those changes, change. So let's see how we're gonna do this. It's gonna be dependencies, it's gonna be change.dependencies. File path is gonna be change.path. Hash is gonna be change.hash. Index is gonna be change.index. Type is something we're gonna translate. File change. Do we have all of them? Add, delete, modify, rename in the response schema. Yeah. Okay, looks like shit, but that's fine. And then we have lines, which would be change.type. Oh, don't we have change.lines? Oh. Oh, this is interesting. Like you might also rename. Oh, I didn't take. Fuck. This is. I'm not sure about having this file type binary, because this is also when we add and rename. Oh no, it's not. Sorry. Because those become modifications. Yeah, that's true. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so that it's only modify and change.file type equals text, or it's undefined. Cool. So now we have these suggested commits. So we should, and this is in the same format of the response. So if we now, let's see, import OpenAI from OpenAI. OpenAI new. Could you change this to use the nice PR settings and the OpenAI API key? Thank you. Let's just do it like that for now. And then I'm so excited about this. Maybe it won't work very well, but let's see. And what model should we use? Let's see. please change this to use, let's just try using GPT 4.0 model, also using the response schema above as the JSON response. Oh, I don't think it actually has. I think we need to actually check this. Do we have documentation? JSON structured outputs. So it's JSON object, but how do we use SOD? JavaScript. There you go. SOD response. So that's on response format. Interesting. Why did it suggest JS? That's weird. So response format. Well, it's a rebase. Let's drop like temperature. Well, okay. It suggests that temperature. Let's trust it with that. Matching the rebase schema. You're an assistant that helps organize Git commits. We should create a better prompt here. I want it to be, you are allowed to do the following operations. Change the order, change the hash of changes to reference a different commit. One thing that's not clear to it, I think, is the order of the commits. The commits sorted by please analyze the ascending. That's wrong. Sorted by newest to oldest. Suggest a better organization and messaging. You're allowed to do the following option. Change the hash of changes to reference a different commit. Change the message of commits. Add new commits by and creating a random hash for it. Remove commits given there is no dependent changes. I guess that's it. Note. Oh, change the order of commits. Change the message of commits. Add new note. Changes that has dependencies. So this is insanely tricky for an LLM to do, right? Because we're not changing the order of changes. We're changing the hash. And based on the hash, it will implicitly change the order. So I should changes that has... Okay, we're going to change the description. This change can only appear... can only use a hash that is the same or later than changes referenced in this list. So that's how we need to explain it. It's about the hash. Changes that has dependencies that can only use hashes can only use the same or later hashes than its dependencies. This is like insanely complicated. It's probably gonna... Like, the good thing is I can actually verify if it's valid, what it's returning, but I'm very curious what it's gonna return. Okay, let's just start with this and see what happens. So, what are you... oh yeah. Cool. So let's see what it does here. Damn, this is gonna be so exciting. Let's see. Oh, undefined publisher. Get configuration. Does it have... how does this work? Oh, can I just do that? Oh, open AI API key. Oh, nice PR. Something like that. Let's try that. Undefined publisher. Oh, is it nice PR and then like this? Ah! Activating. Oh, that's something else. How do I? Okay, let's just do this. And then we'll add package JSON. Could you please grab the please correctly grab the OpenAI API key for the OpenAI client. Well, I already have that client, but okay. There we go. Okay, so this is like a kind of a silly thing, but let's see what it does. So we're also going to log what it actually sends here so that we have some sense of suggested commits. Okay, let's try. Oh. Which ones? Oh, GPT-4? There should be a GPT-4. Oh. Okay. So we passed that stuff. We have our commit. Let's see what it did. So it changed the hash. That's not good. It changed. That's good. It changed the message. That's kind of what I expected, but I did not expect it to change the hash. Okay, so I don't think we should use hash. I think we need to change this. Well, what's good though is that it actually uses the same hash. Yeah, maybe I just have to tell it not to do that. You are not allowed to change the hash of existing commits. Change the hash change the hash of changes and that's also confusing. I'm calling it changes. Hash. Change the hash of changes that has dependency. The hash of those dependencies are newer than the change. Like that. That's it. But it. Okay. Let's try again. Oh yeah, it's actually quite slow on the first request because of the schema. Yeah, now it seemed to keep the hash 6852D. Yeah, nice. Set package JSON private field to false. That's nice. And then yeah, okay, nice. The interesting thing here though is we don't actually need the lines returned. We don't need the type. Well, it doesn't matter. Let's just keep it. Let's do something more complicated. So I'm very curious if it's gonna actually remove something. If I now go in and I have to do something that's somewhat relevant. Page. Signal. Oh. Yeah, impact signals. Yeah, so because what I'm wondering is, for example, now if I, well, first I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna try to make it like merge commits. So I'm gonna first git commit include signals example, and then we're gonna impact signals git commit update title of example. Like you could argue that these should be two different commits, and this is the problem, right? I have this assumption now that I would want this to be the same commit. But you can argue just the same that it shouldn't. But what we can do, git commit. Anyways, let's just keep going. Whoop. Check. Debug. And then we're gonna git add. Oops, remove debug. So now I'm very curious what it's gonna do. Yeah, this is gonna be exciting because this is like a typical Git history for me. I do this kind of stuff all the time, and I wonder what it will do. Will it change the number of commits? No, it doesn't. Okay. That is interesting though. I wonder if well, helps not helps organize, that cleans up git commits. Remove remove commits, remove changes. Yeah, I think we can do that. So we can do a check, like if we remove the commit, but there's still some changes related to that commit. and create more clear and consistent history, something like that. Git commit history. Okay, let's try this. Oh, let's see what it did. So it still has remove debug log. That's interesting. But do we have a change? Because it also removed a change here. What did it actually remove? What did it actually remove? Index 1, 2. It removed index 3, which is adding the console log. Yeah. So it did what it was supposed to do. It removed the console log, and then it removed the commit. No, it didn't remove the commit. So there's still a change here, because this adds the console log. Yeah. But this has the commit dash of. So it doesn't have to make sense to us what it does. The point is that it will no, look at this. Yeah, I don't think it's smart enough to do this. I wonder if there's a different structure we could use though. Because I would definitely expect it to, since it removed the adding of the log, I would of course expect it to it removed the adding of the log. It should also remove the removing of the log, right? Please, but I wonder, is there a more powerful model? JSON mode, like, oh, O1. No, sorry. Yeah, O1. Let's try O1. GPT O1. Wait. Can't we use? Oh, it's just called O1. So this is O1. Yeah, I guess I can just say O1. Let's see what this one does. Is it like smarter? Because this is a like, if it's able to like understand this kind of thing, then there's like some potential, right? It needs to. So this test is like creating context about like the changes being made. Like the problem here is that the actual commit history here and the changes made isn't that much context, right? It's very isolated. But I think it should be enough to, well, who knows? Who freaking knows? You do not have access to it? 2024. Okay, let's try this one. do not have access to it? Ah, for fuck's sake. OpenAI API 01. What was it? Oh. Oh, it's 38 minutes ago? Okay. That sucks. So there's an issue. Yeah, okay. That was a fun experiment. There's probably a better... So what I'm wondering is, with that initial try we looked at, is it still here? So I would expect... Can I still look at it? What I don't understand here is why it doesn't have any dependencies. It shouldn't have. I think this is a bug. Because this does have a dependency to the other one, which I find to be strange. Ah. Because it's overlapping. I want to look at this like this first. So, wait a minute. This is the wrong order. Oh, that's also a problem. Wait a minute. What happened here? Did I change something? Oh, I think... Oh, I think I did something wrong. So we're getting some commits here. We want to reverse these. Maybe that was the reason. Because this one should definitely have... So I should be able to move this into this. But if I move it into this... Yeah, exactly. Now it has the dependency. Okay, so that was a bug from my side. So let's see. First of all, let's make sure in the Git state that we're passing the commit correctly. Because, yeah, now they're correct. Okay, let's try again. Let's try again. Oh. GPT 4. Oh. Interesting. I'm confused by these model names. What we can also do here, we can try with Claude. Let's do that. I want to do that. Let's try it once more, and then we're going to try with Claude. Oh, interesting. Now it did. Oh, interesting. make private field false in package JSON, include signals example in page TSX, update title to impact signals, and then it actually removed the console log. This is cool. This is really cool. Okay, so let's make it a little bit more fun. Let's not do this, but let's do. So we have this parse response, which should be the same thing. And what we want to do now is we want to bring these back into yeah, so I think we need to move this logic into like okay, cool. So this is gonna be cool. Let's finish this. So let's put this into the rebaser. Export response schema. I think it's yeah, whatever. Let's just call it response schema, and then we're gonna do get suggest rebase payload or something. What yeah, get suggested rebase commits. Yeah. Get suggested rebase commits. Let's implement that. Get suggested rebase commits. Return. Oops. Let's rather do it. Oops. Well, I guess now we can just say this dot. Oh, interesting, because now we can just say this dot commits, and we can say this dot changes, and we don't need that get changes anymore. Can keep it private. And then we should have set suggested rebase commits. So this will be suggestions. Okay, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting. So we're gonna if this works, this is maybe like I guess you could like I think this is the tricky part of AI currently, because nobody would ever throw like a git diff at like an LLM and trust it to rebase it in a good way. You really want, just like we see now with Copilot, like it always asks you, it suggests something and you verify if you want to do it this way. And that's really tricky to do with the Git history. But now that we have like that very flexible fundamental way of rebasing, yeah, I'm very excited about this. There's a lot of potential here. Anyways, so we should now be able to just say this dot commits is the suggestions commits, but the changes we need to go through them, and we need to Yeah, I think we're just going to say new changes is, I'm just going to push them. So for well, I guess we can just map which. Well, the problem is we need the original change as well. Because we haven't actually. Oh, yeah, sorry. So we can actually do this. This changes. The only thing we really want to do is just suggestions, changes, map. And we want the change. Then this changes, find. Original change. Yeah. So we can have like an arrow here. Original change equals. So that's what we're going to do. And then I think we can say this sort changes. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. So now we don't need to do this. We can get the suggested commits. We have this response schema. And then we should be able to say rebaser set suggested rebase commits. And then we can say this.mode equals mode rebasing, and then we have our rebaser. And that should put us into the view. Okay, I'm pumped for this. This is a big moment. This might be like the first time, given that this works out, the whole thing. I think this is a big moment. Yes, let's try it. I wonder how to do the loading indications though. We have to figure that out. Yeah, one more thing we're gonna do before we test it is that everything. Sorry, I broke our moment. We're gonna make sure we put the others in the trash. So we're gonna say this dot trash equals this dot changes. Well, of course we have to put it in the trash first. This dot changes map change, original change, Boolean. Well, I guess filter is the right thing. So we're gonna filter if that original. So if that original change so if the original change isn't in the suggestions, so if not, so if we don't find the original change in the suggestions, we put it in the trash. That's what we want to do. Because the point is, like, it actually removed some changes, and we want those to be in the trash as if you actually did that. Because you can't delete them. You have to, like, move them into the trash, and it should replicate that. Look at this. So it moved these two into the trash, and then it created. This is so cool. Okay, I have to show this to someone. This is very, very cool. Like, again, it's a very simple change, and it might not perform that well on more complex things. But it's very, very cool. but it should be very efficient about like just cleaning up, like, oh, I forgot to format, oh, there's a linting issue, blah blah blah. This is so cool. Okay, I have to stop the stream, get some work done, but this is very exciting. I'm gonna make sure to add a field to the settings so that you can choose a different endpoint than OpenAI, so you can like use together where I work. So you can use Claude or any open source model to do the suggestions. I was also thinking about exposing the actual prompt in the settings so you can play around with it. Maybe you want to add some of your own. Yeah, we should have the prompt there, and also, yeah, exactly. So you can have your own flavor. Like maybe you want it to be sarcastic in the commit messages, for example. You can do that. Yeah, hi Patel. I'm good. Had a good moment here looking at testing this AI feature. I think like if you approach, what I really like about this project is I didn't think about using AI at all for this. But if I were to think, okay, let's create a VS Code extension for rebasing where you can get auto suggestions on rebase using AI, it might not have worked, at least not at the current state of the models. And especially not being able to like get this suggestion. You can just continue. Oh, by the way, I didn't like this. I still want that console to be there. You can just move it back, for example. That's pretty cool. Oh, but the commits are in the wrong order. That's interesting. Well, I guess it doesn't matter in that sense. Did it choose to do that? That's interesting. Because it's getting the commits. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like it's free to. I can at least add that to the prompt. Yeah, so the stream, it's basically I work remotely and I think better when I talk to people. But what I've discovered is I don't have to talk to actual people to think better. I can just talk. So this stream is really just me working on stuff and just talking about what's going on inside my head. And it doesn't always, like sometimes it diverges into non-coding stuff because I'm just thinking about stuff. But it's think of it as a raw output of my brain. That's what this stream is about. And what I've heard, like the reason I continue doing this is because it benefits me a lot, because I feel like I'm doing better work and I feel more engaged and motivated doing work while streaming. But also people have given me feedback that they enjoy having this raw output, because most streams, or at least video content, is very prepared and you don't see all the mistakes you do as a developer, and also all the wrong paths you can take when you try to conceptualize and figure stuff out. So especially for like new programmers, I heard that it's been like valuable to see someone who has experience programming for like, I don't know, 15 years or something, like having a really hard time conceptualizing things, doing the wrong thing, refactoring, changing, drawing a ton of stuff to kind of understand the problem space and all of that stuff. I also done a lot of streaming, actually doing like normal work, not just doing like side projects like this. But yeah, I've changed employer. So when I worked at Code Sandbox, I did a lot of that. But I'm not sure if I can do that at my current employer. But yeah, I guess that's what the long-winded answer to what the stream is about. How you feel about being a CS student in these days? I even like being in the game for so long. Like programming has changed a lot. Like thinking about what we're doing here with AI. Do you feel it? Like, do you have a sense of discouragement with everything changing, or are you like encouraged that this is so exciting and you feel super confident that you'll be able to apply your skills? Because I've been like back and forth. Oh, what happened there? Yeah, I've been back and forth. I've felt like some tension around everything going on, and like, what does that mean for my... Oh no, I have my comments open for people to comment. So that's please ask me anything, or I'm happy to diverge into other conversations. And so yeah, no worries. Oh yeah, internship. Yeah, I wouldn't worry though. Like, what I rationally conclude with all this AI stuff going on is that at the end of the day, it's just a tool. Like, yeah, it's just a tool. The way I think about it is AI is just a new interface for talking to computers. You still need to, like, humans still need to talk to computers, make computers do stuff, right? And we can just do that in a new way now. We don't have to express our thoughts character by character, like using code. We can actually just think and talk, or use natural language to describe what we're thinking. And then the computer can do the same work for us. So we're just more efficient at communicating with computers. That's how I look at these LLMs. But then, of course, there might be a time where you don't even need that human input to create things, which is interesting. But that's kind of the point where it's going wrong. Like, why would you want a computer to do something that's not from human intention? Right? That would be weird. That's the moment where everything goes wrong. When the computers creates their own intentions. So again, that's what I think. It's like we're building this technology to enhance like humanity, and humans are the ones that has to figure out what we want. What are our intentions? Where do we want to go? And understanding how computers work, like doing a CS degree, is an important perspective and understanding of the world, and how we can make these tools better. But you might not like practically be doing coding character by character, but still your experience and your perspective is still super valuable to make these computers do what we want. I think. But yeah, I'm a super optimist. So I definitely had my moments of, yeah, what if this whole thing goes wrong and I don't have any work? But I seriously don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, cool. You know what? We're gonna just add. Let's see. Let's add. Open AI prompt, and then we. How are we gonna do this? Let's see. Rebaser. Oh, where's the actual prompt? Here's the prompt. Oh, it's more instructions, right? OpenAI instructions. Well, I guess we can call this. Yeah, exactly. And I think like transitioning from Code Sandbox to Together for me was the first time I really got experience doing what you're stating. Because I had so much ownership in the written code of Code Sandbox that it made more sense to me to actually just go in and like write code. But when I joined Together, it was a brand new code base. It was even new languages that I had never used before. And if I didn't have these LLMs to help me get going with something, I would have to spend like just a month trying to learn like Go, like the Go language, for example. But I was able to like start reflecting and contributing and create something within a couple of days, which is pretty amazing. And then you can argue that, yeah, but that you don't know what you're doing. Well, conceptually, I know what I'm doing. I know what my intention is. But I'm in no position to validate the quality of the code. But then there are other people that can do that, right? So I just, and also even this project, because in the beginning it was very much like the productivity was very much up and down. So what I was able to do is that I created a proof of concept of this VS Code extension on the side, like literally on the side as I was working. So I was working on something, and when productivity was reduced related to me waiting for feedback or just a freaking build process or CI or whatever, I would just go to this thing on the side. I would prompt it something like add this button, whatever. And then I would just go away and continue working. And then whenever I had like an open window, I would go back and look at the response of the LLM and kind of accept it and test it. And then I will write another prompt. And then I will go back to work. And that's how I actually got the proof of concept up and running. If I were to manually implement that proof of concept, I would never have gotten to this point. Because I didn't really know what I wanted. And working with VS Code extensions and like there's so much code that's needed to even get to that proof of concept. So yeah, I found so much value in this. But that it's gonna take over my job, that's like far, far from it. I work for a US company. I guess big tech. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess it's big tech. I do work with, it's called Together AI. They're kind of like OpenAI, but for open source models. So they have infra for open source models, but they have even the page looks very much the same as OpenAI. You have a playground, you have a dashboard, you have API keys, but you can, and you have fine tuning, and but you can choose any open source model. But I'm based in Norway, actually. So the whole Code Sandbox team, because at Code Sandbox, we have this amazing infrastructure for VMs that we actually built for developers to move into the cloud. But we didn't get any adoption. Like, human developers doesn't want to go to the cloud. But during us building this product, which wasn't a success at all, the AI revolution happened. And we were like, oh, maybe this infrastructure, writing code in the cloud is perfect for AI. And it is. So we're like that's our contribution to Together, is like the team and the experience of us working together. And also this infrastructure of running code in the cloud is very exciting stuff. Super exciting. Instructions. Suggestion instructions, I should say. The instruction to generate rebase suggestions. So the default here would be this. Let's see. Can I use Patel? That sounds, it sounds Indian. Am I right about that? Patel. It's a nice name. How do I... Oh yeah, it's very interesting. Like I'm amazed. Like I was talking to my oh, you're in California. Yeah, Together is at is in San Francisco. And they're hiring like crazy. So you should yeah, and that's what I was going to talk about. It's when we were first approached by Together and asked to join them, they were 40 people. And like a few months as the acquisition went through, they were 60 people. And now I think they're 140 people. And that's just like a few months after that. They're growing like crazy. And I was talking to my partner about this because when it comes to like building things, we have this general sentiment that we need process and structure to be able to do big, complicated things. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I'm blown away by the organic, like the organic nature of what Together is doing. There's so many people doing so many different things, and it works. Like, it's messy. Like, it's a startup. It's only 2 years old. It's a messy thing, but humans are messy, and we're very adaptable. It's very, very fascinating. Yeah, try. I don't know if this will work, but try apply for an internship at Together and reference me. Just like I don't know how this works, but it will be such a fun story, right? That you join this stream and you met someone working at Together, and you mentioned that applying for an internship, and if you got it, it will be Yeah, it would be a great story. So please feel free to do that. Like, again, I don't know much about your experience, but just like leaning forward and being enthusiastic goes a long way. It's kind of like how we, like at Code Sandbox, we didn't have any experience with AI, like AI infrastructure, LLMs, nothing like that. And they're very much like at Together, they're very much like, oh, but we'll teach you that. It's not really about the tech itself. It's about like hiring good people. Well, you can do whatever. Like, this is also a thing. Like, talking about process, I've talked to my partner about this a few times. Like, getting a job, it's not about like skimming through LinkedIn. That's not how you get a job. You don't, like, you get a job by not doing what everyone else is doing. Like, you have to stick out something. Like, so the best way to kind of stick out is to apply for a job where at a company which is not listing any available jobs. Because you just want to work at that company. And that's a really good way to kind of show your enthusiasm and your hunger for learning. And companies want you to join them because you like the company, not because you want a job, right? You believe in the mission of the company. So, and again, like telling this story about you were looking at this stream, talking to someone working at Together, as kind of an introduction to that application for an internship, that makes you like stick out from all the others. So at least you get like a second, like a couple of more seconds of attention on your application. I'm not saying it's enough, but yeah, that's the general sentiment. It's like you have to do something that others are not doing. Yeah, personal projects. Again, like nobody else has made the personal projects you have made because they're personal, right? You are the one with the unique experience of working on those specific projects. That's a way of like sticking out. I don't know if that's the right term, sticking out. And you also have a nice name, Patel. There's something, there's something, I don't know, sophisticated about that name. I would hire a Patel for sure. But yeah, so like something to kind of grab the attention immediately, which could be like watching this stream, talking to someone on a YouTube stream about working out together. That's like, that grabs attention. And then talk about like your personal projects, and then talk about the mission of the company. Like, do you relate to the mission of the company in any way? What makes you relate to that mission? And don't talk about your skills. Like, when you're young, you don't really have much skill, right? Because you just haven't had time to gain them yet. But you just need to convey like your willingness to learn and improve those skills. And sometimes those like your like you have a knack for certain things, and they typically show very well in personal projects, because a personal project is quite broad. Like, there's some design elements, there's some logical thinking there, it's identifying a market, there's like many different things that you don't really think about in a personal project. But you're trying to solve a problem, right? You're trying to improve a process or something. So personal projects is very telling on like which aspect of that personal project did you really enjoy doing. And that says a lot about where you will learn the fastest, if that makes sense. How do I do line breaks in? I wonder if I can get some help here. How do I do line breaks? Do I do multi-line strings here? Discard. How do I do multi-line strings in this JSON file? Okay. Boop. Ah. Could you change this to a single line, but keep the line look at that. That's what I wanted. Thank you. And then we have open AI or suggestion endpoint. Well, let's call it open AI endpoint. The endpoint to use with the open AI client. Yeah, tell me about your project. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think generally answering emails is a common problem. So let's see here. Yeah, but I'm happy I can fix this later. Maybe okay. This was so nice talking to you, Patel. So I'll just work on some stuff in the background here. Let's write some tests. Yeah, we need to refactor the tests so that, or not the tests, but the actual rebasing. Ready to push. Pushing await. Yeah, so we're not actually gonna, I think we're gonna, oh, that's in the actual, okay. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the rebaser to create the commit operations, because that's what we're gonna snapshot test. I'm happy to. It's very fun when people engage with the stream. So please ask me anything. Let's see. Yeah, so what if we can make, and that takes a documentation from the department, so we can train that on top of. Yeah, so one thing I learned, Patel, about AI and adopting AI flows, which is what I briefly mentioned with this VS Code extension as well. I don't think people are ready to trust completely in AIs. Like to completely automate a process end to end. Like if you think about the most simple AI before AI was AI is auto suggestions. Like you have, like as you write something, you get these suggestions, and this has just become more and more powerful. But then the thing with these LLMs is that they can do more than like suggest the next word, like in auto suggestion writing text, like Gmail, for example, had that a long time ago. My point is, I wouldn't automate responding to students. What I would rather do is, while the professor is sleeping, you automate a process that goes through the emails and creates drafts to respond to every student. And then when the professor wakes up, he doesn't even have to like go through the emails and respond to each one of them. It doesn't even have to be during night. It could just automatically create a draft by identifying an email from a student, for example. Anyways, the point is that you shouldn't automate sending the response to the student. You should automate creating a draft for the professor to verify. But it's a really good idea to like fine-tune a model on documentation from the departments. So using OpenAI or Together, it's cheaper to use Together. And you could use an open source model that already has some domain, maybe some more specific domain knowledge of like physics and CS. But yeah, I would think about that. Like, how can you automate creating a suggestion for the professors? And at what times should it do it? Should it do it at a certain time of day, or should just automatically do it whenever you get like get an email or whatever? Yeah, that's my only that's my input. But it's a good idea, and I think this is definitely the first big use case for LLMs, is suggesting changes. It being code, or segueing into your question about what this extension is. It's an extension that, let's see, that lets you change commit history. So engineers at all levels are generally bad at creating a good story in pull requests, because when you start working on a pull request, you don't know where it's going. You don't know all the changes you need to make. You don't make the changes in order. There's a lot of discovery. And what happens is that you end up with a PR that has a lot of, like, the commits doesn't reflect like a consistent story, as if you knew exactly what you were going to do, right? So what this does is that it takes any commits you have for a branch, and then you can click this button and it shows you all the commits and all the changes within that commit. And then you can start moving stuff around. So for example, here I have a console log. I don't want moving that to the trash. And then it, like, this is very, very complicated. And I spent a lot of time figuring out how to identify how you can make changes without breaking it. So now you saw I moved this console log into the trash because I don't want that console log. But I've removed that console log on a later commit. So now I have a warning that this removal of the console log isn't valid anymore because it depended on me adding the console log. So I can move that into the trash as well, for example. And I can remove these commits, and I can change like the order of commits if I want to do that. And then you just approve it. You can actually look at the diff before. Oh, what the fuck happened there? That was a bug. So you can look at the diff before you actually push the change. I have no idea what happened there. Anyways, and then you force push it. And I have colleagues that does this manually using interactive rebase, but this just makes it much simpler. And then the really cool thing that we just did is that what if we get a suggestion from an AI first? So, oh, did we actually? Oh shit! I think we actually we rebased it. Ah, god damn it. Oh. Venter du litt, Ragna? Okay. No, jeg streamer. Yeah, so fuck, I forgot. We're getting some people checking the air quality here. But yeah, so the point is you can also too bad. I actually force pushed it. So the point is you can click this button instead, which gives an auto suggestion from an LLM. So it's the exact same experience. You get into the exact same view, only that it has already cleaned up the commits, changed the commit messages, moved stuff into the trash, and then you can verify it there and make your changes, and then you approve it, and then you run it, which is really cool. But yeah, sorry, I forgot about this appointment, so I have to go. But I'll be streaming more tomorrow, and then we can talk more then. But yeah, please reach out to me, Patel, if you want input on your application or whatever. And thanks for reaching out. It's fun to interact on the stream. So yeah, bye for now.